Plaintiffs Kevin Patterson and his wife Barbara say Barbara is a recovering drug addict. And while she was incarcerated, Kevin had an affair with the defendant and moved in with her. Barbara claims after she was released from prison, she and Kevin got back together. But the defendant refuses to return his property, so they're suing. Defendant Lori Whitfield says when she met Kevin, he said he was divorcing Barbara because he was sick of her. Lori claims she and Kevin intended on getting married and even got each other's names tattooed on their arms. Lori's countersuing for stolen money and the cost of a handgun.
Start with you.
I'm here today because my husband made a bad choice having an affair with Miss Lori Whitfield. I was incarcerated for 12 months on a petty theft charge. I'm a recovering addict of 33 years. I've been clean since November 10th of 2010.
Good.
I worked very hard to change my life, and my belongings mean a lot to me. I worked very hard for my things. My husband moved in with Miss Whitfield when I was incarcerated, which I knew.
What year?
2014 and 15.
All right.
Which I knew. I talked to my husband every month on the phone.
That's a lot.
And
You knew they moved in for a friendship, or you knew that an affair was going on?
I knew an affair was going on.
So you said, go ahead and move in?
No, I did not, sir. I told him
you knew, and you told him when you got out, it was going to be some stuff.
Right, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
When I got out, I went to the house and got my husband, and he came home.
All right.
No,
But-
that's not how that works.
Now, I'll let you give your part.
At that time, she refused. She put they didn't want me on the property. She barred me off her property, which I left it alone. My husband called August 4th, and August 5th, me and my daughter went to pick him up. August 6th, we called the Rantoul police to meet us at her house to get our belongings, which she refused.
How did your belongings get there? Your husband?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you want to give me some testimony on this?
When me and her met, you know, my wife was incarcerated. Our house was getting foreclosed on. So I had got with her and I asked her, could I bring my belongings over to her house? You know, she knew that me and my wife was gonna be back together. And even though we had a relationship. So when my wife comes home, there was some chaos between us before she come home because she found out she was getting out. You know what I mean? So when my wife finally get out, I went back to my wife. I go back over to her house to get my property. First it was my dog. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't return my dog, but when she found out that we had filed a civil suit, she took the dog to my sister's house and say, my sister called me.
What other property did she fail to return? What did you take over that she failed to return?
A Maytag washer and dryer, my TV stand, I have a computer.
What has she said when you asked for it?
Oh, you don't have nothing here. Take me to court.
Okay. And when you left, tell me the terms of you leaving. Obviously, it wasn't, okay, my wife is home, sweetie. I'm going to go on back.
True.
Thanks for letting me stay here. I know you got a little used to me, and thanks, it was a nice run.
True.
And she said, okay, if that's what you think it's going to be, all right, try to step out that door.
Right.
Step out if you want to. She didn't come at you with anything?
No, sir.
You got it easy if that's
No,
all
sir.
she did is keep your property. All right, you give me some background on this.
Okay, when we met, he was planning on divorcing his wife. He said he had enough of her. And she had the power to turn off with her trailer, which was going to get repoed anyway.
She had it turned off, or it was turned off because of non-payment?
She turned it off.
I don't know if they let you call the utility company.
Somebody, a friend of theirs did it.
Yeah, maybe they do, I don't know.
It is.
A friend of hers called and turned it
jail
in.
to the utilities? All right. Go ahead.
So anyway, he asked me if there was anything in the trailer that I wanted. And I said, sure.
Said,
so he gave me the washer, the dryer, and the TV
she
set.
told him you, that's right.
No, he asked me if I wanted anything.
And you told him you. You
I
told
said,
him
sure
him.
do. Yeah, I told him, yeah. He gave it to me.
Go ahead. All right, how about the property other than him?
Oh.
Did he give you any other property?
Yeah, he gave me the washer, the dryer, and the TV stand. He said I could have it.
It was just for a temporary hold.
You did tell her she could have it temporarily?
No, I didn't. It was to store my stuff over here while we was together. And I never say she could have none of my property because this is me and my wife.
You lost your apartment, or?
We had a trailer.
You lost it.
They foreclosed on the trailer, so I had to put my stuff somewhere.
Ma'am, that sounds more likely He needed a place to go with them, and so he takes them over to his temporary woman.
Which we were supposed to get married.
Huh?
We were supposed to get married. We said
He's married. How can you get married?
He was going to get divorced.
That don't even make sense.
We even put
their names
tattoos
on each other.
Yeah. I put my name and he's got his
Sir,
name
you
on.
put her name on you?
We do have tattoos.
Right.
We do have tattoos.
And it was about 30 days before she came
We
home.
have tattoos.
Come on up. That's not temporary, sir. Come on up. You didn't. No.
No, right here,
Over there,
Oh,
sweetie. Over there. Yeah. You can stand up right there.
can tell it all.
I'm gonna let you talk. You wanted to say something. Sir, you know that's not temporary. I know who you kidding. State your name, ma'am.
My name is Lisa Miller.
What do you want to tell me?
30 days before she came home, Kevin Patterson and my sister Lori went and got tattoos, both of their names on each other.
And did you ever tell her you intended to be with her beyond your wife's stay in jail?
No, sir.
That just doesn't sound reasonable, not even for
No,
you.
sir. No, sir, I
Didn't you,
didn't.
sir? Didn't you think you was gonna get cut one way or the other? Either she was gonna cut you,
She
or
was.
she was gonna
Yeah,
cut
I was
you.
looking this.
So you went with the lesser of two evils.
No, he
No,
went with
she's-
both.
she's
He was
the most
angry to
evil.
get that tattoo.
This
The
the
most
most
He
evil.
wanted to prove a
evil.
point.
Yeah.
All right, well,
That was to hurt me, he said. Okay.
what'd you do to hurt him? No, you shouldn't
tell him
have.
what you did to hurt me.
You did right. Y'all reconciled.
Yes.
And now you're trying to get the furniture
Sir,
back that she says was given to her because there was an intent for you all to be together
Yes, sir.
forever, because when you put someone's name on you, he could have done a lot of other things to get back at you.
You don't have to tell me,
Don't you
Your
buy
Honor.
that. Don't you buy that.
Okay. Your Honor, I do have the receipts, all the original receipts for my property.
I know, but the point is, the defendant is saying he told her it's hers because, or it's theirs, it's joint property because they intended to be together.
I did not tell her that, sir.
I'm not convinced that he said to you, you can have these things. I think it may have been that he promised to be with you, and you assumed, since he's bringing the items over, that it was going to be joint property. And so when he left, you were angry with him and said, you're not getting your things back. And so I believe you were led to believe or led to think that you would never have to give the property up. But unless you can tell me how there's enough evidence to have convinced you,
I have
somebody
statements.
talking sweet to you is not the same as
I
What do
have
you have?
statements from people, even people, he moved a guy in named Clyde to stay with us. And he
Saying
even
what?
heard him. That he gave me that stuff.
he
It was
moved
a gift.
another guy in there.
Yeah, Clyde, an older man, to stay with us.
There was a few people that stay in
There
the
was a
house.
lot of people,
A lot
in,
of
the,
people.
in the house.
What about all the other folks' furniture?
Oh, that was mine. But he gave that to me. He asked me if
He's
I
the
wanted
only
it.
one that brought something
I'm
into
the
the
only one that
household?
brought something there.
And I do have a police report that's stating that she did not return my things. I did take the police
Let's see
to
it,
get
please.
my things.
Yeah, but ma'am, the problem, the issue
It's
is
him.
whether your husband. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe
no.
I believe these
I
are your items.
understand. Oh, I
And
understand
if he's
that.
your husband, it was joint property.
Yes.
So he gave his own property away.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case. Your counterclaim, why are you suing him for stolen money and the value of a handgun?
My mom, on September 4th, I got a phone call from my sister. My mom's heart had stopped. And I called him, and he told me he would ride down there with me. So I gave him my money card to go get us a soda. And my gun was in the back of the car. Well, he didn't show back up. I had to end up hitchhiking home. He took my car, my money card, and my gun. He came back at noon that day, and I have a police report where
And where did he say he had been?
he texted me at 7 o'clock in the morning, said he fell off his square, that he was in Peoria.
Fell
That
off
is
his
a- that
square,
is- that
meaning
is-
he relapsed?
Yes.
Okay, he had been a drug addict?
Yes, he's a heroin
Or
addict.
recovering addict?
Recovery.
Not recovering, he's still doing it.
He's been doing it the whole time they were in a relationship.
Sir, what did you mean by fell off your square?
Fell off my square. I didn't fall off my square.
You didn't tell her that?
No, I didn't. I just didn't go back home because I was going back to my wife.
Well,
I
did
had
you-
her car, and she
You
called-
did have her car?
Yes, sir.
For
And
what?
She called because I was driving her car at that
For
time.
what?
Just driving. I was back
Okay.
home riding around, and I brought the car back. That's when her sister was there, And the police came and they helped. I got my items up, my clothing, some of my clothing up out of there because she wouldn't let me go back in the house.
Police came for what reason?
To remove my clothing.
Nothing about the car?
And
No,
the gun.
they didn't say
Hold
nothing
on.
about. They didn't say nothing about the car. I just got when I got back. The police was there. I went in and got my clothing, the credit card, her debit card. She gave me the PIN to her debit card.
For what?
So I could use it.
Because you all
To
were
get
a
a
couple.
soda.
Quiet. Because you all were a couple.
We were together at
You
that
had
time.
your names on each other's.
Yes, sir. We was together at that
Bodies.
time. And she gave me the PIN number to the debit card. As far as with the gun,
Ma'am, he had the PIN number.
Yes, he had to go get us a pop. He was supposed to come back, but I didn't tell him to spend $270 off
What
of it
about
either.
the gun?
I am a convicted felon. The gun, why would I have the gun in my possession?
Did you touch the gun? Did you remove the gun?
When she first bought it, I saw the gun and touched it.
No, we're talking about this incident.
No, sir, I did not.
So when this was mentioned to you, what did you say, either to her or the police regarding the gun?
I say your stuff is in your house. I don't know where your gun is.
All right, what do you have? You say you have a
I have
police
text
report there?
messages where I text him to ask him for my gun, and he said, well, you can read it. And then here's a police report.
All right, let's see the police report. All right, well, the good news is there's good news for you and good news for you. I don't know about how you might feel about this news. And you should feel good. You will feel good. However, he threw you off a little bit.
Right.
Plaintiff, this is what you say to her. My T-shirts with my mom and granddad still there. May I have them pictures too? I mean, he's asking you for something. And you say, can I have my gun? He says, you could have just said that instead of acting like you love me. And when I get my things, yes, you can have your gun.
Sir, that's somebody, that's not it.
Let's leave it alone. Judgment for both the plaintiff and the counterclaimant. I'm convinced by this text that you were withholding his stuff until he gave you your gun. And as such, I believe that you are entitled to the money that I believe he stole or used without your permission, because he also kept your gun. And that's clear by these texts. You refused to give him his things until he gave you your things. Therefore, I'm convinced that both of you were withholding each other's items until you exchanged. I don't know why you didn't just give one and then the other and then one and then the other. Judgment for both the plaintiff at $1,958 and $565 for you. What you're asking for, leaving the plaintiff with
$1,393.
$1,393. So it seems like he cost you about $565.
That's okay. I can handle that. It costs me a lot more than that in life.
Okay, have a good day. That's my judgment.
So,
They say that $1,400. I do. I'm a different type of woman than her, and I would never want another woman's belongings in my home, or nonetheless wear another woman's clothes.
I didn't wear it,
Come on.
first off. And second of all, your husband brought it in there and gave it to me.